Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This is The Amateur, where we're here to talk life, hobbies, politics, ideologies, what have you. And on today's episode, we're going to be getting into one of my very many hobbies, and it's a little embarrassing. It's not embarrassing, but it's okay. So I'm just going to start off and say that I pole dance. I like to pole dance, if you couldn't tell by the thumbnail and the title. I am a Christian and I pole dance. I do not have an OnlyFans and I do not strip, and nor do I plan on doing any of those things. Though tempted it might be. I know those women tend to make a lot of money, but it's also like, not for me. That's all I'm going to say. Not for me. But I do like to pole dance. And so I know this may seem very, very contradictory, as pole dancing and stripping is causing men to look at women with adultery in their hearts or with lust, and that's committing adultery. So it's causing them or facilitating them to commit sin. And again, the reputation that pole dancing does have, especially amongst women and adulteresses and temptresses and wicked women that are trying to tempt men away from the things that God calls for them to be, etc. My parents are aware, but for me, I just like to pole dance as a sport, as a means of athleticism. I do know that it walks the line of being scandalous and versus being something respectable. But for me, it's I don't know. You get a lot of really good upper body strength. I know is for some things a sexy element of it, and I am not good at being sexy. I'm not. It's another story. But I do like to pole dance. I took a class 3 years ago, and I really, really liked it. And I don't know. It's good cardio. It's good upper body strength training as well. And I just really like the athleticism, the flexibility, the grace, the poise that comes along with all of it. And then I know, again, there's that whole scandalous side of it. But the main point of me bringing this up and sharing my hobbies with y'all is to make a point of tools, and that a tool is a means. Okay, so I think in a previous video I talked about the ends and the means must justify one another. But it's also to understand that the tool or the means and the ends are two separate things, and the means is a tool. So the means is not necessarily the ends itself, though they can be facilitated by one another. So what I mean by that is, like, take a gun. A gun can be a means to death and killing, or it can be a means to target practice. Like, I don't freaking know. Or it can be a means to, I don't know what else you use a gun for other than, well, I mean, I know there's plenty of other things that you can use. Like, things have so many multi-purposes. Anyway, so it just depends on how you use the tool for the ends that it creates, and not to necessarily mix the two up. So with pole dancing, as it can be used for, just sport, athleticism, skill, whatever, versus used for like adulterous means or scintillating, tempting and seductressing. I think I'm making up words means. And just kind of keep that in mind, because what I want to segue this into is with words, and words are one of the biggest tools that we have in our arsenal. And like, I think in a previous video I said that language was, some people would consider language a social construct, but I don't think it is. I believe language comes strictly and directly from God. I mean, that's just so kind of supported by the Bible. Like, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God. So, like, you can't have the Word without God. You can't have language without God. I'm sure there's more nuance to that. I haven't really read up on that subject as much. But I think it's important that we understand the tool of words, especially when it comes to things like hate speech, and how people are trying to regulate that without the right footing or the right footage, because it's like I don't know. I think it's a matter of, we're a little ghetto over here. Don't at me. But it's a matter of kind of understanding what it is what's happening, as well as the ends that it's bringing about. So one example with that would be how there's a lot of attack on something like, say, echo chambers. Okay, so an echo chamber, I think, is something where pretty much you're in a continual positive feedback loop of your own particular understanding and your own particular views, and you're not necessarily allowing anything else to come in. And it's like, those can be bad if you're having a negative or having a feedback loop of bad ideals and bad morals and things that aren't healthy or good, and they're being echoed and, you know, reverberated and magnified, etc. Versus if you're being reinforced by positive and good morals and good ideals, like that's a matter of, you know, understanding what it is that tool is being used for. And same thing with like cancel culture, where you know, I mean, it's again cancel culture isn't quite Christian, again, because Christianity, it promotes forgiveness, and it promotes you know, I mean, mainly forgiveness. I mean, this is the biggest thing, is forgiveness. Like, listen, you done goofed, you made an oopsie, show that you're actually repentant and, you know, sorry and regretful and whatever, ashamed, all these other things. Even shame is a tool. It can be used for good, it can be used for bad. I wouldn't want for someone to be shamed because they did something that they should not have done, versus you shouldn't be ashamed of something that wasn't bad. You know what I mean? So it's like things like that, to just kind of have that bigger picture. But what I'll do, because I wanted to try to make this short, is I will just close off with some of these verses, especially as it comes to the power of words in the Bible, as a tool that God has given us, and that it can be used for God's glory, or it can use for deception or the devil's end, if that's how, depending on what we choose. Okay, so anyway, Proverbs 18:21, death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruits. Ephesians 4:29, let no corrupting talk come out of your mouths, but only such as is good for building up, as fits the occasion, that it may give grace to those who hear. Proverbs 12:18, there is one whose rash words are like sword thrusts, but the tongue of the wise brings healing. Proverbs 15:1, a soft answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. Proverbs 16:24, gracious words are like a honeycomb, sweetness to the soul and health to the body. But Proverbs 15:4, a gentle tongue is a tree of life, but perverseness in it breaks the spirit. So again, just kind of understanding, like even when it comes to like blasphemy, like you can say I F that B and the P. I don't like cursing. So use that what you will. I F that B and the P, you know what I'm saying? That's not as bad as saying God is an evil poopy head, because that's literal blasphemy, and that is a crime against God. That's a crime against the 10 Commandments. That is like more of a sin, if you want to say, put weights to that, than I F that B and the P. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I think that's just an important perspective to kind of understand and take, and keep that in mind with the things that you do and what is achieved of the things that are done. Those are just my thoughts, though. I'm just an amateur. What the heck do I know? Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I cannot speak. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will catch you in the next video.